Hi everyone, and thank you for dropping in on our Thursday TNT, and thanks also to 5-Star Marine, long-time supporter and sponsor of the program. Now we're going to start off with some follow-ups to stories. We start with this editorial in the Bangkok Post. It starts by asking the question, when is enough really enough? And a story penned by Jamie Waddell, we'll find out more about him later. It starts, the recent bus crash that overturned and killed many children is not just another road safety incident. This type of incident forms part of a pattern that's not been addressed, let alone answered. The purpose of a collision investigation, and he says they're not accidents, is to determine the root cause to provide information to prevent such incidents from occurring again. So the editorial aimed fairly and squarely at Thailand's appalling record when it comes to bus incidents and deaths. And speaking broadly about the topic, he says a vehicle travelling downhill approaching a bend will not overturn if the correct gear is selected and the vehicle is positioned correctly for the bend. And a bit further down there, a driver's only as good as the training received, and the vast majority of incidents are a result of poor hazard perception. He then goes through a long list of things that Thailand really needs to improve to stop these incidents happening in the future. And finishes, if you truly love your country, then save it from this epidemic. After all, Thailand did exceptionally well with the COVID epidemic, so why not road safety? At what point do parents, brothers, sisters and journalists say enough is enough? And Jamie Waddell is a training and development specialist on road safety and a safety auditor. You can catch up with the full editorial at bangkokpost.com. Now, a very quick mention from Nikkei Asia. I'm not subscribed, so I don't get the full story, but we get the gist. And this headline, Thailand asks Germany to review policy to save the China submarine deal. And part of the caption reads, Bangkok-based diplomats are doubtful that the Thai government's latest initiative to finalise a long-delayed deal to buy a Chinese submarine will succeed. And the story reads, Thailand's formally asked Germany to reconsider its opposition to supplying an engine for a $369 million submarine the kingdom's agreed to buy from China in a bid to resolve a years-long impasse that's prevented the vessel's delivery. And before the story disappears, says the Defence Minister wrote to his German counterpart seeking clarity about the options over whether an MTU 696 engine could be installed in the Chinese Yuan-class submarine. The story's been dragging on for 6 or 7 years, and the Chinese submarine, all finished and shiny and waiting in China, just doesn't have an engine. And this follow-up. And we go to Thai PBS World, and Canada and US offered Uyghurs in Thailand asylum before deportation to China. So the story sort of drags on, but not so much about the actual people, but about whether other countries offered to take these Uyghurs before Thailand sent them back to China. Let's read the latest. And Canada and the US offered to resettle 48 ethnic Uyghurs held in detention in Thailand over the past decade, according to Reuters. But Bangkok took no action for fear of upsetting China, where they were covertly deported last week. And human rights groups accuse China of widespread abuses of Uyghurs, a mainly Muslim ethnic minority numbering about 10 million in its northwestern region of Xinjiang. Beijing denies any abuses. The Thai Deputy PM said that no country made any concrete offers to resettle the 48 Uyghurs. He's quoted as saying, "We waited for more than 10 years and I've spoken to many major countries, but no one told me for certain." Apparently the US offered to resettle the 48 Uyghurs, according to an official from the US State Department. And they said the US has worked with Thailand for years to avoid this situation, including by consistently and repeatedly offering to resettle the Uyghurs in other countries, including at one point the US. Apparently Canada also offered asylum to the detained Uyghurs, and another offer came from Australia. And a Thai ambassador to Canada and the US between 2013 and 2017, and a senator, said that at least 3 countries had approached Thailand with proposals to resettle the Uyghurs, but declined to name them. "We didn't want to upset China," he told Reuters, "so we didn't make the decision at the political level to go through with this." And with such a good source, that sort of has the ring of truth. Meanwhile, Thai PBS also publishing this story. Thai ministers to visit Uyghurs return to China's Xinjiang province. And, they're sending the heavyweights, a Deputy PM, the Foreign Minister and the Justice Minister. They're going to be flying to China on March the 18th to visit the 40 Uyghurs deported from Thailand on February the 27th. And the visit's intended to confirm whether the Uyghurs are safe, well, and being taken care of, as the Chinese government promised, to ease concerns of Western governments. So that should be a lot of fun. The Thai officials will have the red carpet rolled out for them and photos taken with some 40 Uyghurs. Whether they're the actual 40 Uyghurs that were deported, we'll never know. Well, I suppose somewhat of a follow-up. We've not really heard anything about the Cannabis Control Act or the winding back of the current situation here in Thailand regarding the use of cannabis. But this story really just sort of adds more confusion to an already confused space. And 100 kilograms of cannabis seized at Chiang Mai airport as smugglers walk free. So the word smuggling may suggest that there is something illicit about what you're doing. Let's see if we can see what's going on. And law enforcement in Chiang Mai province announced yesterday the seizure of over 100 kilograms of cannabis flowers, but were unable to press charges against the foreign nationals attempting to smuggle them out of the country due to legal loopholes in Thailand's cannabis regulations. And police cited multiple cases involving foreign nationals attempting to smuggle cannabis flowers abroad. He noted that many foreigners are well aware of the gaps in Thailand's cannabis control laws, allowing several suspects to avoid prosecution beyond having their cannabis confiscated. Then the article goes through 4 particular cases. We'll just go through them quickly. The first case on March the 2nd, when officials apprehended a 23-year-old Malaysian attempting to smuggle 22 kilograms of cannabis flowers out of the country. And then on March the 4th, authorities detained a 19-year-old British female student trying to smuggle 34 kilograms of cannabis flowers. And then a Malaysian couple, both 35, attempting to smuggle 45 kilograms of cannabis flowers. They were headed to Singapore. And as we noted last week, if you're caught with any more than 500 grams of cannabis in Singapore, you're going to end up at the end of a piece of rope. Then the most recent case occurred on March the 5th, when Chiang Mai customs officers intercepted another 20 kilograms of cannabis flowers being smuggled by a German national. And then the commander revealed that after consistent seizures at Phuket airport, smugglers shifted their operations to Suvarnabhumi, and when authorities began intercepting shipments there, smugglers moved their activities to Chiang Mai. And Thai authorities and relevant agencies are currently discussing measures to impose stricter penalties for smuggling cannabis flowers out of the country. Well, I feel sorry for the smugglers. I mean, they don't really know what they can and can't do with cannabis at the moment in Thailand. So come on, authorities, let's give them some firm guidelines. As we go to Thai PBS World, and we're talking about haircuts, something I haven't had to worry about for a while. Student hairstyle regulation ruled unconstitutional. People coming to Thailand for decades would be well aware that the girls and the boys have their own regulations and basically all look much the same. And the Supreme Administrative Court yesterday ruled that the Education Ministry's Regulation 2 regarding students' hairstyles, issued back in 1975, is inappropriate and unconstitutional because it infringes on students' bodily autonomy. And the ruling, which is effective immediately, states that the regulation banning the wearing of a moustache or beard, especially on the girls, and requiring ear length or 3-sided shaved hairstyles for males, and regarding the use of cosmetics by female students, is an infringement of the right to bodily autonomy. And the edicts were issued without treating the best interests of students as paramount and may hurt the feelings of gender-diverse students, which contravenes the Child Protection Act, according to the court's rulings. Well, some common sense prevailing there, but I bet over the next couple of months there'll be some pretty wild displays of hairstyles as students exercise their new rights to wear their hair and their makeup any way they like. Anyway, as I said, something I don't really have to worry about anymore. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully you're more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Please subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.